Barry D is back with All Politics Are Local.
I am back, and today's in-studio guest is Ingrid the Collie, and Ingrid's a lesser-known but still important friend, John DiSantis. Now, Ingrid is a beautiful therapy dog that crisscrosses Chester County with John. So we're going to get right into this by having this interview theme song. And, you know, John and Ingrid, I always have a theme song for my guests, and this is yours, Ingrid.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you.
Alrighty, what'd you guys think of that, huh?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having us. I have to say, that was awesome.
Right.
That definitely is something different. Typically, when we go places, because Ingrid is a rough collie, you know, think Lassie, that's the way she looks, we get, oh, it's Lassie. Oh, she's a Lassie dog. That was the first time we've ever gotten a Scooby-Doo reference.
I was going to do Lassie because I actually have that as a ringtone for somebody on my phone, but that's just too sappy.
It can be, but that was, you can probably hear the smile in my voice. That was well done.
That's
Very
right.
good.
Scooby-Doo was a go-getter, much like
absolutely.
Ingrid is, aren't you, Ingrid? Yes, you are. And, you know, and I got to tell you, every time I see Ingrid, all I can think of is Timmy fell down the well again.
Which never actually happened in the show.
I don't know. I know. Why is that? Where did that come from?
That's a good question, but I forget what that's called, the butterfly effect or something. Yeah. One of those things where people think they know that that's what's happened or it's in the culture, but it never actually happened.
You know, it's funny you say that. That happened with Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin once made a comment about Russia. You could actually see Russia from Alaska, meaning at the very end of Aleutian Islands, you could see the next island over, which is only like 20 miles away or something. You could see it on a clear day. So everybody said she could see Russia from her house. And they go, that's a lie. She didn't say it. Tina Fey did in a skit.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's kind of where that comes from. So that's funny with the Timmy thing. I knew it, but I didn't know where it came from. Like, where did that come from? So let's talk about this, John. Ingrid said she's a little tired. She's been up early, apparently.
Always.
But she has brought me much joy already today. We've gotten our hugs in. Let's talk about Ingrid's mission along with you. What exactly? A lot of people don't understand what you do.
Well, we go to schools and businesses and healthcare facilities, rehab facilities, and the mission really is two things: to get her to as many people as possible and advocate for the benefits of pet therapy. Because when people see a dog, typically there's a bit of a novelty, especially where you don't normally see a dog. So when you bring a dog to a classroom, the kids light up. There is certainly that novelty effect, and it's, oh, good, we don't have to do classwork for 5 or 10 minutes. So I get that. That's always kind of baked into the cake.
I felt that way when I came in here. Then I realized I still had to do the radio show.
But you've seen a dog, especially if you like dogs. Now, when you greet somebody or you're going on a visit, you always ask permission. You don't just assume somebody likes dogs. That can get you in a bad spot. So you always invite, or you ask to be invited. So would you like a visit from Ingrid? Because the person may be afraid of dogs, scared of dogs, allergic to dogs, may just not like dogs. So you always have to kind of go in with the attitude of, I would like to visit, but I can't force a visit.
Yeah, you know, I ask it a lot of times with women, and they're all of that. Allergic, don't like, don't want to talk to me, wish I would leave as quick as possible. So, but I think she does much. I think she does much better than I do.
So yes, she is a magnet, and unfortunately, over radio, you
I am
can't
too.
see
I
her.
just happen to be on the repulsion end. So
Polar opposites.
that's right.
Because she is a very pretty dog, she's a very attractive dog, that does bring people to her. And culturally, 30, 40 years ago, collies were much more visible. More people had collies.
Yeah, where did they go?
I think I have them all.
Is it high maintenance, like a lot of brushing of the hair and stuff
She
like that?
gets brushed 3 or 4 times a week at a minimum.
It's a lot of maintenance.
Well, some of that, I'll be perfectly honest, is vanity because when we go out, I do want her to look good because she is very photogenic. People take pictures of her all the time. She's on social media all over the place. So wanting her to look good is definitely part of the mix. But it's also a courtesy because when you go to some place to visit, you don't want to be leaving tumbleweeds of fur everywhere.
That's true.
And people who wear dark clothing, the dog fur will show up. So now you have that issue. You also don't want to have, a dog with fleas or ticks. So the constant brushing, I'm checking for fleas and ticks. So there's lots of layers to why she gets brushed all the time. But certainly some of it is a courtesy and a vanity. But, I do want her to look good. But you also don't want to cause a problem for somebody else.
Sure. That makes perfect sense. But she is absolutely gorgeous.
Which I think does bring a lot of people to her. And then the other part of it, kind of why she's very good at what she does. She has a really soft, loving demeanor. She's very loving. She's very, adaptable to situations. She's very good with special needs kids. We were just over at Henderson on Wednesday. The public school district runs the extended school year program. That's for students with, learning disabilities, physical disabilities, all kinds of special needs. And she really excels in that environment. The kids love her too. Now, every so often there may be a kid who's afraid of dogs, and that's fine. I certainly understand that. Maybe they just don't like dogs. That happens. But for the most part, especially if it's in that environment, it's not essentially summer school. It's a program to help the students, so it's not punitive. But the kids are great. The teachers are very welcoming. This is our third year going through the Westchester School District to be at the extended school year program. And it is just a joy to be there for those kids and visit with the adults there.
Do you charge?
I do not.
Really?
No.
Stop.
Never. Well, there's two categories. When you get your dog certified, you represent the organization that she's certified through. So we are certified as a therapy team through Paws for People in Delaware, which that goes back to COVID. If I can circle back to that at some point, I'll explain that. But then because of COVID and the restrictions that were in place, I started doing a lot of cold calling and I have this really great therapy dog and nowhere to go because COVID had the whole world shut down. And part of what got my foot in the door to start doing this, and I don't want any money. I don't charge.
Right.
And so if you're doing something freelance, there's insurance and, that sort of stuff you got to worry about. If you're working for a company visit, that's covered by the company and their insurance. But that through the company, it's all volunteer anyway. But the freelance stuff, I never did charge, and now it's kind of a source of pride that I don't, because this is one of the best things I've ever done, getting her out and visiting with people and bringing smiles to kids' faces and visiting seniors in assisted living places.
Right.
It's just a really good mission, and I don't want to I don't know if tarnish is the right word, but I don't want to make it look like it's a mercenary thing. I'm doing it because it's a good thing.
Right.
And I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing this, and we've made a lot of friends, and we have a lot of good relationships with different organizations and places to go. So that's more than any, a quick $20 or $30 or whatever would get me for going. Oh no, this is absolutely one of the best things.
It's the satisfaction of it.
It's been
very
great.
Rewarding.
The don't even worry about the money. So I guess there's really three things I tell people. I don't charge. I want to get Ingrid to as many people as possible, and I want to advocate for the benefit of pet therapy.
You wouldn't turn down a donation, though, would you?
I have.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Mother Teresa here, for God's sake. Tell me, she's so beautiful. Two things. How long have you had her, and how did you end up with her?
Well, okay, those kind of go together. I was looking to get another dog. This is about 6 years ago, and I became aware that she was available. But previously, I had the opportunity to possibly get a retired show dog. That, for whatever reason, didn't work out. We had emailed kind of negotiations. Oh, I might want to breed her again. You could have her outright, but I'll get her back for a year. And so that kind of fell apart.
Right.
And then I had the chance to get another dog, the sister of my youngest. And that didn't work out either. So I'm looking to get a dog.
Right.
And Ingrid became available. And as I understand it, 13 people passed on her.
No way. How does somebody pass on something like that?
They were looking for either a younger dog, a different fur color dog, or
So
whatever.
how old was she?
She was 2.5 when I got her.
That's not old.
No, but some people want a puppy. They want a puppy.
No.
So I've had her for August 5th will be her gotcha day, or is her gotcha day. It'll be 6 years. And so when I got her, you could just see that she had it. She was special. And just a real quick story, part of how I got her was, her previous owner couldn't really manage the medical bills. Nothing fatal, but she needed dental surgery. She needed her spay surgery. She needed her shots up to date, and she had an ear infection.
Bang, bang, $1,000.
A trip. I got her in August. She wasn't medically cleared until December. But going back to the first visit with the vet, now my vet knows my other dogs and has known all my other dogs. Take her in, visits, hi, how you doing? Great dog, what are we going to do? I bring Ingrid in. Haven't talked about the pet therapy idea. She hasn't met Ingrid yet. We go in, she does the same thing. Oh, hi, Ingrid, how you doing? Pet, wonderful dog. She stops after about 30 seconds and looks up at me and she says, you have got to get this dog to Chop. Like, she could tell in that 30 seconds that Ingrid was going to be a great therapy dog. So then I kind of said, well, and kind of went into the plan. And that's why we had to do all of this.
Were there any discounts with that?
No.
No, you're killing me.
No,
Speaking of discounts, let's go to a commercial real quick. Come back after we pay some bills and talk more about Ingrid and your adventure.
Barry D is back with All Politics Are Local.
I am back with John and Ingrid the dog, Ingrid the Collie. And this is fascinating to me. I've never known anybody to go through all this. You got to tell me, got to be a lot of effort. Now, you've decided you definitely want to do a therapy dog with this thing. What's the process? What's the journey it takes to do this? What kind of testing? That type of thing. Well, it's got to be a lot.
Well, our journey wasn't typical,
to
say the least. Well, when we started, again, I'll go back to, I got her in August of 2019, and with the medical situations and that amount of work, you can't do all at once. So she went in for one procedure, took a couple of weeks, got cleared, went in for the next thing, a couple of weeks, got cleared. So she wasn't medically cleared to start training until December. So that was December 2019. So we started with basic command classes. That actually was a good thing. We probably didn't have to do it in retrospect, but it helped her learn how to go through the testing procedure, because every diploma, every certification you get, there's about maybe 8 to 10 different sorts of tests you have to go through.
Right.
So that got her used to doing the testing. So we got the first two. It's called Adult Dog 1 and Adult Dog 2. We got those two certificates done by March of 2020. And then COVID hit. And COVID shut down the world. So understandably so, dog training was part of what was shut down. So it wasn't until almost the end of that summer where we were allowed to start training again. So we went back and got, and again, this is a visual, which you can't see on radio. She has patches indicating what her certifications are on her vest.
She's like a Boy Scout here.
And so one of the patches, you have to basically get 2 honors level courses done to qualify for therapy training. So one of the classes was the American Kennel Club, AKC, Canine Good Citizenship. That allows her or acknowledges her as being a well-behaved, good trained dog. That's in the nutshell. Then the next level is the community patch. So that's an AKC community dog. She can be out in the community, well-behaved, welcome strangers, welcome different dogs, be around new people, different, large assemblies, all of that sort of thing. But still not officially doing therapy work. You have to pass a test. And again, each thing is about 8 to 10 different tests. There's, a kind of an activity test. Does she get riled or upset if there's a lot of activity and noise? There actually is a noise test where the trainer will come up and shake metal at her and see if she kind of emulating a thunderous noise. They have people just moving around, dropping stuff. Like, is she going to bark? Barking is something that you can't really allow the dog to do, especially if you're going to a senior home or a quiet environment in general. Because if you're visiting that patient and the roommate or the person next in the next room is sleeping or just doesn't like dogs. You can't have this crazy dog barking and yelping all the time. So there's all kinds of tests. The key ones are like, meeting a stranger, greeting somebody new, greeting a strange dog, because sometimes there's lots of dogs at events we go to, and they have to be well behaved and have the good, calm demeanor. Welcoming friends, she can be around 10, 15 kids at a time, and she's fine. Some dogs would be too animated or maybe not like all the contact.
Right. Overstimulation.
She does that very well. So every test is a little bit different. The therapy work, so that took us about a year and a half to get to because, like I said, we started in December of 2019, but with all the stops and starts, we got these 2 AKCs done by Thanksgiving of 2020. But then if you remember, around Thanksgiving, there was another COVID outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
And Governor Wolf shut the state down again. So I was calling, where can we go? Like, who's open to do testing? And the Therapy Dog International people kind of told me after several calls, listen, sir, we're not going to do the testing when you can't use the certification. So I couldn't get a certificate. I found Paws for People in Delaware. That's a therapy group that does the training for all kinds of different animals. There's therapy cats and therapy bunnies too. And so they scheduled us. Delaware had different rules. So we were able to go down there in March of 2021. And through the program, we got certified as a therapy team by April of 2024.
Could have just gone to Tennessee. They stayed open. That's a long drive.
It was the exact date. April 24th, 2021 was when we got our therapy certification.
That's awesome.
So it took about a year and a half.
That's awesome. So when did you actually start doing the visits? You don't like all of a sudden turn the key, hey, we're certified and go. Did you do that? How did you make it work?
Well, that's kind of what I did. I
Really?
called different businesses and organizations. Hobby Lobby was great. They let us come
outta
over.
here.
We would be in their front lobby.
Go to PetSmart, then go right over to Hobby Lobby next door.
We actually went to PetSmart too.
See?
And Hobby Lobby, the manager there was great, Wayne. He said, sure, you can set up. He's like, sir, you can bring your dog in here to shop. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I want to do. I want to get her used to noise and kind of like the organized chaos of people moving around and doing things. He's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem.
That's so
So
cool.
we set up in front of the Hobby Lobby over in Exton used to be an Acme.
Right.
So the kind of front foyer is where like all the shopping carts and stuff were, I think. So we would set up there, and as people would come by and go in, and we were close enough the cashiers could come over, they got a break, and they'd say hi, and, moms and, parents with little kids would come over before they go in. So it was perfect. They got a boost. She got used to greeting people, and that's how I got started. We would still do, you're responsible to do a couple of visits a month for Paws for People, so we still do that. We've been over to the Hickman many times. We go to Barkley Friends.
Oh, that's a great one to go to.
Oh, yeah. Barkley Friends, we had a great story there. Actually, it was our first visit. Do I have time to get this one in?
Yeah, you got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So it's our first visit, Paws for People, going to Barkley Friends. When you go on a first visit, you need to have somebody from the organization there, kind of like going through, making sure you're all on the same page, and somebody from the place you're visiting as kind of like the tour guide, because you don't know the layout of the building.
Sure.
You don't know who likes dogs, who's afraid of dogs, who's, allergic to dogs, anything. So 2 extra people walking around bring us to maybe the 4th or 5th person that we meet. And the lady from the volunteer office says, I think she'd like a visit. So I go over and I say, hi, would you like a visit from Ingrid? And the woman says, I'm trying to remember, not maybe the exact words, but it's real close to this. Oh, what a lovely dog. What a pretty collie. And with that, the lady from the volunteer office and the nurse in the suite go, that's fantastic. Oh my God, that's wonderful. And I'm thinking to myself, she gets compliments all the time.
Right.
I don't
What's the
know
big
why
deal?
that's a big deal. The woman from Barkley Friends leans back a little bit behind the woman, pulls her mask down because it's still kind of during COVID restrictions time. She pulls her mask down, points to the woman and says, she doesn't speak.
No way.
But she spoke
you just
to
gave me
Ingrid.
chills.
And it was a good thing that it was our first visit because we had witnesses. That's like the magic of pet therapy.
Oh, my God.
Something in that woman was positively triggered. I know triggered is a bad word in this environment sometimes, but positively triggered her to be able to speak again, because just that quickly.
That's so
Now,
awesome.
this is only over about 5 or 6 seconds.
Right.
So the woman pulls her mask down and says she doesn't speak. So I go over and try and keep the conversation going. And I say something like, oh, did you have a dog when we were younger? What's your favorite breed?
Okay.
And I am not making fun of her, but she could not respond back to me. She looked up at me and just kind of went, like she couldn't talk again.
Holy smokes.
So for that couple of seconds, for those few sentences, she was able to speak again. Something in Ingrid in the visit triggered her to be able to speak.
After we get finished the show, I'm going to share a story with you about my mother and the last time I heard her actually speak. She had vascular dementia, something similar to that. Listen, we've only got like another minute for you to get it out there. Let's talk about real quick. How do people get a hold of you to make arrangements to do something like this? What do they do, John?
Well, typically it's just networking. A fun thing, Ingrid is the first and only dog in the Greater Westchester Chamber of Commerce. So we go to a lot of networking events and exchange business cards. I can get numbers. Probably the best thing to do, because she's very high visibility on Facebook. Send me a message on Facebook. Her page is Ingrid Collie. I tried setting up like Ingrid the therapy dog, but the algorithm kind of interrupted me 4 years ago. It looks like you're starting a business. For this much, we can do that. I'm like, no, I just want to post pictures.
Right. Yeah.
So,
she actually sent me a thing the other day.
So,
It's very nice.
I went to school with a family named Collie in grade school, and Ingrid's a perfect name. So she is by personage Ingrid Collie on
awesome.
Facebook. That's her first and last name.
Yeah.
So Ingrid Collie on Facebook. She's on Instagram, but I don't really do Instagram a whole
I'm
lot.
not good with it myself.
She's on Twitter too, or X, but she doesn't tweet a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Facebook's probably the best thing, or just the community events, because we'll be at like Overdose Awareness Night at the courthouse in August. We'll be out at National Night Out on that's August 5th. She's a member of the Chester County Suicide Prevention Partnership.
Wow.
Now, we've never actually been to an intervention, but she is trained for that. She has the QPR training.
That's awesome.
So if anyone is in a desperate situation, we'd be happy to go visit
Bring
with
out
them
Ingrid.
and show
Make people feel better.
care and
Yes.
want them around. And dogs just bring out the best in people.
They really do.
Honestly, this is one of the best things I've ever done, which is another reason why I don't want to charge.
Why ruin it, right?
It's really just a good thing.
Now, John, Ingrid, I really appreciate you being on. She was a little shy today. She didn't want to talk, but, that's okay.
800 visits, she's never barked on a visit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, sadly, John and Ingrid, it's time for me to wrap up the show.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, so did I. I'd like to thank both Jack and Carla for coming on. Also, my in-studio guests, Ingrid the Collie and John DiSantis.